Well, let's get into it. Game number 1 here, Arilou versus Legoman. Alright, spawning up top, we've got Arilou, and their opponent to the left, Legoman. Let me just check. All my levels seem good? Yeah, it should be fine. Cool. Really excited for this match. Arilou is always one of my favorite. I really like his deck. I found that snakes seem very powerful right now. Maybe that's because it's kind of a strong tier 2 meta. I don't know. I don't even know if I agree with that statement. Like, tier 1 is very relevant right now as well, so I think there's a lot of different ways you can go about the game at the moment. It does feel like we're in kind of an early to mid-game style meta, more so than the, like, get up to 16 farms and get your perfect army comp. Like, you don't see those kinds of games happening too much nowadays. So we'll see where we go. But yeah, the Cam Falcon Wolf, I think, is really great late game. The Toads kind of compensate for the lack of AoE with Skunks, and the Snake is just generally a good unit to poke and prod with and harass. So, meanwhile, Legoman's deck, kind of similar, except for the Skunks are here. The Moles are a big deal. I think Squirrel Mole is probably favored against Squirrel Toad. The Moles do a really good job tanking those Toad hits. Moles are just very powerful tempo units. It's very easy to just build a bunch of moles and push in when you notice your opponent did something a little too greedy, or maybe you want to fight by just enough food. So let's see, expansion coming out here for Arilou, and some snakes. Meanwhile, we've got raccoons on the way for Legoman. I do think the snakes are kind of favored against the raccoons in most cases. Wow, Legoman with a little sneaky attack here. Picks up a farm for free. Look at that. Are all this... Okay, one squirrel goes down, but that was huge. Kind of odd. I guess just kind of taking advantage of the greed from Arilou here. Who is getting that second base, is getting that tier 2. Didn't have the units in position either. So, yeah, nice little early advantage from Legoman. Legoman does scout that second base, so needs to decide if they want to pull the trigger with moles or take a second base of their own. With this position, maybe the mole attack makes sense. The problem is if it doesn't work, then you're just so far behind. The second base for... I guess Legoman has some options. Like, actually, this is a pretty great second base, because then you can kind of just defend right here. Both areas. So, yeah, no, looks like we're going to go for the mole attack here. Arilou did... I don't think he saw the moles, but he did see Legoman kind of posturing. So, throwing down some emergency tier 1, trying to get those toads out. Here comes a big attack. Legoman trying to get on top of these snakes. One goes down. The second snake goes down, and this might be a Legoman victory here. Arilou not quite able to get those tags. One of the raccoons will fall, but Legoman did great in that engagement and got the mill and pushing in. This might just be too much. The moles just do a fantastic job of getting on top of those warrens and hammering them down so quickly with that critical attack. Yeah, I think this is game number 1 to Legoman. All right. Let's get into game number 2. All right, spawning on the left-hand side, we've got Legoman and their opponent to the right, Arilou. Arilou with the same deck. Legoman switched it up slightly. I think the cams in place of the falcon and the pigeons instead of the moles. I gotta say, I don't even think this is a hot take, but pigeons are not a counter to snakes. I love pigeons. I think they're a great unit. I think having like 3 to 6 pigeons to back up your... oh, look at this little Arilou sneaky mole attack here. Let's see if Legoman's gonna see it or not. Oh, yep, it changes his mind. Yeah, pigeons just generally can't heal through that snake poison enough to where it really matters. I think pigeons are better... The better way to think about them is just they help you create that sustained attack. Like, I still think they're great, Don't get me wrong, like Squirrel, Pigeon, Skunk is awesome because the pigeons just sit there and heal up those skunks and let you really continue to pressure your opponent without needing to retreat and heal up. But the snakes just do too much damage. The dot is too much for the pigeons to generally keep up with, and trying to get the pigeons to heal the right target is also a little frustrating. I don't know if can you target heal with pigeons? I feel like I've tried that before. I don't know if it actually works. But they just kind of heal whoever they want. They won't prioritize your tier 2 or anything. Maybe they should. Alright, Arilou comes in, sees a quick expansion. This is a pretty big map. So not surprising to go for like an 8-farm double into a tier 1. Arilou, trying to take this down with a Mole Warren, maybe? Where's the Mole Warren? Or is it just at home? Oh, I see it. Oh, it's way away. Okay. That's, it's pretty smart. If he waits for the full 3 moles, oh my god, this is gonna be devastating. I would wait. I would wait. Wait. No. I mean, I guess he's gonna get to building farms. Gets 2. Okay, that's good. Yeah, maybe I don't know, man. I feel like if you waited for all 3, did they just kill the mill? Maybe not. That was probably smarter. I mean, you got the 2 pigs. You can't be upset about that. Alright, Arilou, putting on some pressure here. Trying to kind of shoulder check his opponent, like, hey, did you build enough squirrels? Are you being too greedy on your farms? So right now, a little bit of a lead for Arilou, but if we are going into like a 16-farm game, missing like 100 food from those dead pigs is not gonna be the biggest deal in the world. That matters a lot more if we're on like a 1-base scrappy game, but since we have so much, it's like a percentile thing, right? Like 100 food is a big deal if we're looking at 1,000 food total, but if we're looking at 2,000 food total, obviously it's less of a big deal. So Arilou is gonna try to maybe win the game here. Feels like he's got enough of an advantage of Legoman having to rebuild those pigs. Legoman's tier 2 is not quite here. 1 raccoon just spawns. Looks like the raccoon's gonna help clean this up. He really needs to kill the skunk. I don't think he's going to. But he did lose that farm. He did lose 2 farms, so Arilou is continuing to compound his advantage here. Legoman really wants that skunk, dude. Okay, well, he's gonna get a pig. I don't know, that's definitely an overextension, but I mean, he traded a raccoon for a pig, I guess. Generally, that's a good trade. Trading a tier 2 for a farm, because they lose the mining time, right? Or the farming time. Some cams coming in. So yeah, Arilou's gonna continue to push the advantage. Is taking a 3rd base, but not, you know, I think that's like, if for some reason this doesn't work. Lots of falcons coming out here, which the skunk cam from Legoman is obviously not going to do very well against that. Raccoons do okay against falcons. It definitely needs some more squirrels. Okay, so Legoman is going for the tier 3, which I think unfortunately might just be the game. He needs Arilou to pull back. He needs time. And Arilou does pull back, surprisingly. Okay, but I don't think for very long. I mean, his army's looking pretty fire at the moment. Does have the 3rd base going. Both players do have 3rd bases. But I believe the game's going to end pretty soon. Wolf is paid for with the floating money. The question is, can Legoman defend this attack? If Legoman defends, he's going to be in a great position with that wolf. The wolf is paid for, but that's 360 food missing. And Arilou's going to find an angle where Legoman is not prepared and just absolutely brutalize the 2nd base. Does it go down? 14 HP. Can Legoman save it? Down to 10. Arilou's just going to target it down. And that should be the game. Generally in these positions, if you lose that 2nd base, it kind of doesn't matter. Like, if you lost your whole army or something, unless you just immediately lose on the crackback. Which is Legoman's only choice here. He's going to wait for the wolf to come out, see if he can get a good engagement. But Arilou won the battle. He got the 2nd base. Arilou is in a great position to take this game. Might fast forward here a little bit. Yeah, Legoman's just gotta attack with this army, so let's see if this works. I mean, the army values are pretty close. How much of a difference is the wolf gonna make? There's that many falcons is just so much burst damage. Great positioning here from Arilou. Those falcons are really well protected. The cam's doing a great job being the front line. Legoman's gonna have to run away here, and this should be game. Yeah, once this attack goes down. GG. Arilou tying things up 1-1. That mole attack, very frustrating for Legoman. Very smart tactic, though, from Arilou. That's one of the great things about moles, is you just get the opportunity to do things like that. It's kind of like having lizards in the deck, right? Like, it just opens up different opportunities that wouldn't be there otherwise. All right. Let's get into game number 3 here. Tied up 1-1. On the left-hand side, we've got Legoman and his opponent, Arilou, on the right. I like this map. I like this biome. Looks really good. The wind blowing through the grass. This game is like, the art is just so great in this game. Alright. This could go either way, to be honest. This is like a mid-range map where, like, both players... This is actually a really balanced map, the more I look at it, right? Like, both players have 3 bases, one a little bit safer than the other. You know, maybe you start with your second base... I mean, there's pros and cons of both. If you start with your second base forward, you're making that the line of scrimmage, if you will, where the battle is going to happen. But the longer that gristmill lives, the more HP it gets, and then it can actually kind of turn things in your favor. You know, if it kind of soaks some damage but doesn't die, right? Like, that's a lot of damage that your units aren't taking. But especially for Legoman, like, I would be pretty tempted by this mill here, because he's got the turrets, right? And I feel like MGs are just so strong right now. I mean, I see some high-level players in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the hard part about it, the MG, is like just sacrificing the deck slot for it. But if you have a good build where you think you don't need that 6th unit, like, MGs are just so crazy. I mean, every battle where there's like 1 or 2 MGs, they just do so much damage. So 8-farm double from both sides. Arilou getting into that mill a little bit faster, opted for that safer mill, which again makes sense. It's gonna be a little awkward to attack that. Most likely you're kind of attacking into the main base as Legoman, which you kind of want. It's a less of a big deal if we're in a 16-farm situation if your main base gets destroyed compared to your second base. We see double tier 2 from Legoman, though, no expansion. And this is an important scout for Arilou, because Arilou's already committed a farm on that second base, so if Legoman really wanted to be aggressive, Arilou is a little bit vulnerable, but he's probably happy to see the tier 2. This is actually, like, perfect, because you can get really punished for that quick mill and quick farm if your opponent's just, like, slamming tier 1 and some moles. But since Legoman went for double tier 2, Arilou knows he's safe. Even if Legoman wants to attack, it's going to be quite a while. What's 60 seconds, right? 20 seconds to make the tier 2 Warren, and then 20 seconds for each unit. So I would say, you know, build order advantage here for Arilou. I think it was risky taking that mill. Here's the mill for Legoman. So Legoman can catch back up pretty easily. He's just got to see how many farms his opponent's got. Okay, he's got 1 farm, so I think Legoman really needs to build like 2 to 3 to kind of make up for the time that Arilou's had that extra farm on him. But it looks like Legoman's thinking about just coming in for an attack. So let's see if this works out for him. Yeah, exactly. 3 farms there. I think this puts Legoman in a great position. Arilou should also be continuing to farm up. And now we're getting into a pretty even game. Arilou considering an attack here. That's a pretty scary army. Legoman trying to find the right position, getting some good skunk gas, but what is going to tank for the front line here for Arilou? He needs to get the squirrels up, but the toads are just trying to run through and explode on everything. Great toad micro there from Arilou. However, Legoman is able to keep most of his core units alive. He needs to stop moving them around so the pigeons heal them and stop the poison from killing them. Okay, yeah, three out of 4 of the tier 2 living for Legoman. And all the tier 2 dying. No, the snakes lived. The cams died, so it looks like a little bit of a better trade for Legoman there, just looking at the army value graph. So maybe that with the additional farms, Legoman is pulling ahead just slightly, and yeah, you can see that a little bit in the army value there. But Arilou is definitely not down and out. You got to be careful when you drag toads like that, because toads, unlike banelings, so banelings, when they blow up, like, it doesn't matter if they connected or if they just got shot down, they still blow up. Toads do not. Toads, if you like shoot down the toads before they connect, they don't explode. So when you drag toads through to the clump, you're taking that risk of trying to get the higher, more desirable tier 2 targets than just the tier 1. But Arilou's gonna go for it again. This time he's got falcons backing him up. Okay, gets a stack of poison on a pig. 1 stack of poison kills a pig on this patch, doesn't it? Pretty sure. Oh, the pigeon. Okay, the pigeon's gonna get to it. Yeah, that's another reason snakes are so good, man, because you can kind of do some esports tactics with snakes like you can with cams. I mean, if you just attack somebody's base while they're not around, or, you know, from an angle they're not expecting, you could just get a snake tag on every pig and kill them. It might be 2 now. I don't play with snakes enough. If anybody in the chat knows. I can't remember if they nerfed that. Alright, we got the badger coming up and the wolf. So we're getting into a proper late game here. And let's see who knows about what. Legoman hasn't scouted it yet, but Arilou has. I mean, you've got to assume that a tier 3 is coming. It is important to scout it, though, so you know which one. This is really going to come down to the Badger micro. I don't know. I kind of favor Arilou's comp here. I mean, again, it's just going to depend on the engagement. The Badger is capable of doing some absolutely insane things. Ooh, these snakes going to get caught. Okay, going to kill a cam. Okay, nice. The pigeons should heal that. Yep. Alright, we got some MGs coming up. The MG's making an appearance this game, finally. Dude, he could put the MGs, like, all the way up here. That would be so sick. And then you can kind of micro back to the MGs. With your Badger as needed, right? I'm surprised Arilou only kept the 2 snakes. I'd assume after you knew the Badger was coming, you'd probably build some more snakes, but maybe 2 is all you need. Okay, so third bases are on the way. Are we gonna get to like a super late game where both players are like, I don't know if I am gonna attack. Again, I think that favors Arilou because Falcons are the supreme late game units. If Arilou ever can like sell his stuff and get up to like 20 plus Falcons, I mean, there's really nothing that can be done about that. Outside of your own Falcons, but Legoman does not have Falcons here, so. Alright, a little bit of test in the water here. Legoman has scouted the other mill, Deep Sea. Oh, Deep Sea, is it 1 or 2 snake shots to kill a pig? Forgot. I remember at one time, I think a couple patches ago it was 1, but is it 2? I think it's 2 now, right? Okay, the MGs are in position. It's 2. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I remember it was 1 for a little bit, but we changed that because that was a little key. Alright. Arilou gonna take the 3rd and just walk back. Being careful about hard committing, which I think makes sense. I mean, Arilou's in a great position here. Legoman does have this other base, though, that Arilou is not aware of. So this is kind of a red herring 3rd, where Legoman's like, oh no, you're keeping me off my economy. So, but Legoman is aware of the 3rd base from Arilou. Yeah, and I think, honestly, like, making the MG line should be really effective here. The Toads, like, you want to space them out. Legoman's been doing a good job on that, so the Toads just can't, like, AoE all of them down at once. This is a good tank mill. Again, it's just so hard to really get the Badger in the fight here. Good engagement from Arilou. Legoman's units kind of didn't respond very quick. Badger is here. 8 stacks of heal it. It got eliminated so fast. That's the thing about Falcons, man. They just burst so quick. And maybe 2 Badgers was probably needed, but Arilou able to go through there pretty handedly. It was just the engagement. Like, Arilou's army wasn't all quite together when... I'm sorry, Legoman's army wasn't quite together when Arilou attacked, which is a little unfortunate for him. But Arilou going up 2-0, or 2-1. Let's go to match number 4. Alright, in the bottom we've got Legoman, and up top, Arilou. This time around, Legoman also taking the Wolf Falcon. Arilou has been minorly switching up his deck, but he's kept that core of, like, Squirrel, Cam, Falcon, Wolf. Kind of trading out different units. Surprised to see him drop the Snake, but maybe that's because he wanted to go Mole. And Arilou quite good with the Moles. We saw in a previous match where he got some good tactics. Picked up some building farms for free. Again, moles are just so important, especially at the high level. I mean, it just allows for these, like, killer instinct kind of things. Like, oh, you've been a little bit too greedy. I could just build 2 mole warrens and take your second base or whatever. It's a really powerful addition to the core unit sets. But, again, I think it's just one of those things where it's like, can you find the deck slot for them or not? You know, generally, like you can see, they can't really run pigeons. I haven't seen a lot of lizards lately. Maybe people are just kind of generally off the lizards. Legoman fainting with some moles here. I don't know if he's serious. He might be trying to get this pig. Is it gonna work? My mole math is not the best. I've never really... Yeah, he's gonna take him away, but now Arilou does know that the moles exist. 8 farm double into a mill. Looks like it's going to be a play for Arilou. Meanwhile, Legoman getting 3 warrens into the mill. And this should be a good game. Pretty good map. Fairly balanced. The classic Arilou is attacking. Legoman needs to see this very quickly, because the moles can destroy this mill so fast. But Legoman did build 3 tier 1 warrens, so I think he should be fine here. If he didn't build that 3rd warren, he'd be in trouble, because it would have been equal squirrels plus moles for Arilou, but I think Legoman will be fine here. Gonna chase these squirrels home, see if you can get 1 or 2 more. I'm gonna take it back, so... I don't know, I think that was a fine... I think that's fairly even. This is an interesting strat from Arilou to just keep railing down on the tier 1. Yeah, he got a couple farms here. He's gonna scout that tier 2, though, and unfortunately for him, it is the one that he doesn't want to see. Obviously, in Tooth and Tail, you can't see what your opponent's building out of tier 2. You can only see what they're building on tier 3. But if Arilou is going to commit to this mass tier 1 style, not going to be happy to see the skunks, so changes his mind a little bit, is going to get his own skunk, still off one more in, but he is still going to come in here and poke and see what he can get done. Legoman is going to see this attack moving out, though, so should be able to put his units in the right position. Legoman has a few less squirrels, but the skunk is here. This should really shut this down. Yeah, Arilou's got to go home. Smart decision there from Arilou. Loving the Falcons. I think Falcons is a good answer to the skunk. Raccoon's coming out here from Legoman. Yeah, this should be a solid mid game. We don't have the Gentleman's Agreement 16 farm style game, which can be a little bit boring, but we do have a mid game with a lot of tension here. You know, it's going to be really important for both players to continue to scout second base farm counts, tier 2 counts, double checking for a tier 3, anything like that. So, got a pretty interesting mid game on our hands here. Good scout from Legoman there. Is going to see all the information he needed. He got a read on the farm counts. He got a read on how many tier 2s there are. And looks like Arilou just wants to take this into a Falcon War game, and he's got the advantage of it on it right now. Interesting. Showed the mole, and then Legoman left, and then he sold the mole, but he just rebuilt it in a different spot. I was wondering if he was trying to fake him out. I do think Arilou's army is a bit stronger at the moment. He's actually sold out of like almost all of his tier 1. Which I think the moles and the cams are going to be an okay front line. But he's got this like critical mass of Falcons here. I mean, 8 Falcons. Absolutely insane at the 5-minute mark. And yeah, he doesn't really need squirrels because he can just build the moles to kind of tank the damage, right? He's going to run home real quick, do a little base building or something, come back. Being able to burrow to the mole warrens is so strong. And Arilou just going to take that second base immediately. The power of the Falcons really showcased here. Legoman going to continue to rally, but knows the writing on the wall. And GG, Arilou is going to take the series 3-1.